Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to a little clip from back during the event. This was just something that happened randomly. I was queued against Fanatical Freeman. So if you're not familiar with Fanatical Freeman, he's a fantastic fella, and his followers are definitely feeling the frenzy when he plays the game. He really is a very skilled player of War Thunder. He's one of the best grinders in the game, and I've been making his life. I've been making his life. I'm starting to talk like my daughter a little bit. I've been making his life a little bit difficult in this match, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna say. You might be able to hear him in the background. He knows. He knows. Anyway, I saw that there were 2 enemy aircraft, and then I happened to be listening to Freeman's stream. No, I wasn't really stream sniping him. I wasn't watching his stream at all. I was just playing the game, and I happened to get into 2 matches with him, and he knows that I'm on his tail. So this is gonna be fun. Black Widow versus Freeman in the JU-188, and he's begging for mercy. The match is about to end, and Freeman was trying really hard to get first place because he actually was going for 200 first place trophies in the event, and I was just playing the game. But because Freeman was playing, I decided to show him a good time. I mean, I like the guy. Oh, I happened to get first place. He didn't, not that time. Anyway, at least he was on the winning team. And speaking of the winning team, here we have one of the Allies' finest fighters, highly maneuverable if not highly versatile, the Spitfire. Which model? Well, you know better than I. There's some Roman numerals. I want to say it's a Spitfire LF Mark something or other, but I could be wrong. It is an elegant and beautiful plane. The invasion stripes, I think, are not the best look for this aircraft. And they look massive on the Spitfire. On the P-47, they're just kind of there. They look kind of cool, but on the Spit, it's almost like, I don't know, a kid that's wearing his daddy's socks. It just doesn't seem right. And maybe that's just me. But Aussie is going to get an ace in the Spitfire, and I'm going to tell you what I was doing about 10 minutes ago, and that was doing the bedtime routine with my 3-year-old Brooklyn. She is the tank baby from way back in the beginning of this channel, and she's just a little bit older than my YouTube career. Well, no, a little bit younger, I should say. Anyway, she was so stinking cute tonight. She was starting to get sleepy, and thus the negotiations began. She was happy to brush her teethies, which is good, because if you don't brush your teethies, they'll fall out and you can't put them back in your mouth. And then she goes, yeah, Daddy, but then I put them under the pillow, and money shows up. So I don't know where she got the idea of the Tooth Fairy. I never told that to her. So I said, oh, you know the legend of the Tooth Fairy. And then I explained to her how the Tooth Fairy worked, but she doesn't really care. She doesn't actually listen to the things I say, unless they contradict what she wants to do. And at the same time, tonight I got her to brush her teeth, no sweat, and she wanted to do the toothpaste herself, so I opened up a fresh tube of paste. How you doing? Nice shots, Ozzy. Very nice. It's always satisfying to see a Spit pick up a kill with those 20 mils so expeditiously. I remember when the Hispano was a glitter cannon, and it's not quite so bad anymore, even if sometimes you don't get the result you would prefer. Focke-Wulf 190 below, no issues, so I might as well get back to my story, am I right? I know it's just been so long since I talked to you guys. I've been playing Genshin Impact, and I better tell you more about Bedtime with Guppy tonight, because it was pretty stinking cute. So, I opened up a new tube of kids' toothpaste, and this was like... There's this trend going around now, which I don't entirely disagree with, where products try to look more natural and less processed. And in the case of this toothpaste, it was in some cardboard packaging that looked a little bit more recyclable than the other stuff, which sort of looks like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like the Crest toothpaste boxes are starting to look more and more like something a hooker would wear. It's like all glittery and flashy, and a couple of big bold words with splash text. Anyway, what, your hookers don't have splash text? You're roaming the wrong neighborhoods, my friend. Anyway, where was I going with this? So I opened up the new toothpaste for her, and it looked minty. And then I had to go help the baby real quick. So I pop out of the bathroom, and I hear screeching, and I need water, I need water. So I took my time, and I get back to the bathroom after having dealt with the baby boy, and she's like wiping her tongue with her hands. She does not like natural mint flavor. She doesn't like any mint flavor, but she especially didn't like natural mint flavor. She said it's too sour. Now, it's not a flavor I would describe as sour, but she only knows a couple of flavors, and it definitely wasn't sweet. So, I mean, we're watching Ozzy, in his spit, I should say, take down the rest of the pack. A couple of somewhat passive, but not completely inactive enemy bomber pilots, and for most of these heavy bombers, it just doesn't pay to play them in what you would call an active way. Oh, are those brackets new? I didn't know they put those new brackets on RRB. That's very nice. I'm not sure if that shows up in matches, but it certainly showed up in the replay. Anyway, here we have Bobo's return. Bo, that's right, BoronBoride in arcade today, as you can tell from the little cross and the penetration indicator. Kachika. And with that, more story time. So she finished up brushing her teeth rather quickly. I'm like, come on, just a little more brushing. And she's like, I'm done. And I'm like, come on, brush your teeth. And she's like, I'm done. So when she gets that way, it's just better to move on. You gotta pick your battles. So then she got her tooth candy, which is the little fluoride tablet, and we start the rest of the bedtime routine, which is something that I've been getting back into doing. We all got pretty sick, so the bedtime routine just kind of went by the wayside, and we just all kind of passed out in the living room together, which is pretty comfy and adorable. But we were all kind of miserable. Just sinus cold, chest cold, not a lot of fun, but you know, no serious harm. Just, it's nice to be getting over that. And so she still wants to sleep on the couch. She doesn't want to sleep in her crib ever again, because, I mean, why would you sleep in the crib when you can sleep right across the room from Daddy? So I set up in the hallway, which is where we do our Bible time and talk to God time now. And we talked to God, and she started off by saying, God, I'm scared. Because our hallway light is kind of spooky. It is a, what's it called with the LEDs and whatnot? It's an LED bulb, and it's the wiring in our house is pretty old and pretty cheap, and I don't think that it was really made with LED bulbs in mind, because they flicker for a while before they stabilize and stay on. And she was like, she said something like, "God, make me feel safe," and that's exactly when the lights went back to being on steady. So I kind of liked that. And then we read a chapter of the Bible. Of course, by that I mean I read, and I mentioned that she was getting pretty sleepy, didn't I? Anyway, Bible time is a perfect time to get sleepy. I'm a big fan of napping in order to learn. So whatever you learn right before you fall asleep, that's what you get to dream about. So it tends to get memorized just a little bit better than whatever you were doing around lunchtime in general. Anyway, suffice to say, I was just fine with the fact that she was drifting off while I was reading to her Leviticus chapter 9. And if you'll turn in your Bibles, blueletterbible.org, if you don't have your own paper version, totally free, best Bible resource out there. It's just great, and it's super easy to use. But we were reading Leviticus chapter 9, which, if it sounds kind of boring when I talk about, in general, it's definitely one of the more dry parts of the Bible. There's a whole lot of repetition, and the words are there for a reason. They mean something, but you kind of have to take my word for it, because it seems pretty boring. And I watched her eyes flutter and then fail, and she fell asleep on the floor of the hallway, which admittedly is one of the better parts of our shag carpet from the 60s. So there's worse places in this house to bury your nose while covered in your Spider-Man blankie and hugging your Nammy being a little plushy lammy that has been with her since she was a baby. And thus, my 3-year-old is sleeping in the hallway. So, Mommy has been starting work at 5:30 a.m. That's right, starting work at 5:30 a.m. That is at work at 5:30 a.m. at the post office, and she still has to drive half an hour to get there. So, look at that. I didn't talk anything about what Bobo was doing, but he was kicking ass and taking names, and I think you get the idea. And the same will be for TinyPolska26. Just, honestly, guys, it really feels good to be talking to you guys again. I have been just really taking it easy in terms of content creation, as you've probably noticed. I haven't played a single match of War Thunder since the event ended, and not because I dislike the game at all or I'm tired of it. I'm just sort of embracing the idea of taking a break, and most of that is because I'm having so much fun in Genshin Impact, which is a game that it really appeals to a different side of my gaming persona that I haven't really, let loose in a while. My inner weeb, if you will. I learned a lot of Japanese from anime instead of going to my college classes, and I even learned a little bit about dating and romance from Japanese games. And you know what? Honestly, that taught me some things. There's a lot of nonsense. It's mostly nonsense, but there's some nice sentimental stuff in there as well. The Eastern perspective on relationships and roles in society is definitely different, and it's certainly presented in a different way when you get into the material. And you actually see a bit of that in the storytelling in Genshin Impact. I can think of a few missions where they really show off this sense of community and what it means to be the good guys in the anime game. But at the same time, Genshin Impact, in terms of gameplay and just what it is, to put it very simply, it's sort of a gambling / anime version of Warframe. And there's a lot of things about that that are a good thing. And you know, the anime trash stuff is anime trash stuff. I like to think of myself as a reformed weeb, and I don't know, I'm just sort of a little bit older man and settled down in life, and it really feels good to get into the kind of games that I enjoyed as a younger man and as a kid, and find out that that enjoyment is still there. Just the thrill of exploration, the beauty of the game, and it's a free game, and I have not even been tempted to spend money on it yet. So again, I'll probably make another video or two on it, but I've just been having a total blast. Anyway, it's sort of nice to find a free-to-play game that's as fun as War Thunder, at least for a little while. And Warframe has been that for me as well, but I don't know, I'm just kind of over Warframe for a while. I put a lot of time into it, I mean a lot, and I'm not really tempted to come back to it anytime soon. But I mean, I'm not against it either. Anyway, War Thunder stuff. AmFam's very own TinyPolska. This guy has been sending me replays of all kinds of fun shenanigans he's been getting into. He's also been posting more LEGO stuff on the Discord. I think his name is it Tiny Brick? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm terrible with names already, but I've noticed. And things have been a little bit quiet on the Discord, by the way. But if you are interested in our little community, I've just always enjoyed... Okay, I've usually enjoyed the things you guys have to say, and just being able to connect with you in a little bit more personal way, I guess, than just replying to your comments on a YouTube video or whatever. So there's a link to the Discord if you want in on that, and it does take a while for a mod to notice you and give you access, so just follow the simple instructions and we'll get you in as soon as we can. We're not super professional, we're all volunteers. Anyway, so TinyPolska has been just gleefully putting holes in everything that he's noticed, and I remember playing this Japanese 20mm AA truck and the other versions of the Japanese 20mm AA, and I swear they did something with the AP rounds. It really felt like the AP was not getting the armor penetration that the stat card said it should, and it wasn't really dealing much damage at all. But it's working just fine for TP right now, and I think it's been that way for a while. In any event, almost every autocannon at this BR has a chance at success, and the mobility, if not the gun handling of this thing, really gives it a nice chance to be a fun vehicle. If not the best, at least a meme machine for enjoyment of connoisseurs the world over, presuming you're willing to grind through a little bit of the Japanese tank tree, which is not absolutely terrible, and because of French rank 1, looks even better than before by comparison. Excuse me, I'm still a little bit stuffy from having this stupid chest cold, which has turned into a sinus infection. It's just lovely, but you know what? It feels good to be alive. And that's all I have to say about that. I am hopefully going to pick up a new TV soon. I don't buy expensive electronics all that often, but my wife has been busting her arse at the post office for months now. She's been working really hard, and I've also gotten a few opportunities to pick up some extra cash, but really just to get to get out of the house and get some exercise, cutting grass, and I've talked about that. One of the things that I tell everybody that talks about how the prices in War Thunder are unfair, the vehicles are too expensive, or they just wish they had some way to get access to some premium content. And the first thing I always say is go mow some lawns or go cut some grass. Where I live, that is a pretty much guaranteed way to make money. You just walk down the street, you look for grass that's long, you knock on the door and say, hey, I'm looking to pick up $15. Would you like me to mow your lawn? And people respect that around here. People love, in my area, in general, people love seeing, especially a young guy, willing to do some actual work. And there's a lot of old folks in my neighborhood, and I kind of like it because it means that the general culture of our town sort of lags about 30 years behind the rest of society. And I think that's kind of nice. You know, Britney Spears is popping. We got NSYNC, we got Backstreet Boys. No, God no. But anyway, I got a nice neighborhood, and it's nice to pick up a little extra cash, and I'm actually going to go buy that TV with lawn mowing money. So, there you go. I get to get my wife a little something nice. I'll still use the old TV, the one that I said was going to be for us, but I've pretty much hogged for its entire lifetime. Anyway, catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.